Hi, I'm Dex Gelfand. What I'm going to speak about right now is in relation to my practice that I call therapeutic spiritual counseling, and it is definitely a type of a breakthrough in processing what I call personas or identities. Some people use the word valences, but what we're talking about is artificial or synthetic selves or me's that aren't the underlying being, that aren't the real you. Personas, identities, attitudes that we take on, which are very restrictive and very limiting and have a certain function, which is to obtain or bring about a certain response or reaction in specific other people. An identity or a valence does not exist in a vacuum. It exists to interact with other specific personalities or identities. These are very crippling, so we really want to bring about consciousness and control over these. It makes a huge sweeping change. It's a real spiritual liberation to thoroughly process out of unconsciousness and out of uncontrolled replication. It's a big thing. So specifically, what I want to speak about is a breakthrough I've made in how I approach these identities or personae successfully. It's based on this recognition that identities exist to create an effect, response, or reaction in relation to other specific personalities or identities. It can be to extract love, to be safe, to protect from, to appear in need of sympathy or help, a variety of things. But anyway, in terms of how to bring about consciousness and awareness and control over such things, and the liberation it brings not to be trapped into a identity or persona, because they are so limiting. The new step in my procedure for doing that is as follows. First of all, I made a recent change, so let me start from there to use the following question, which is, what response does this particular identity or persona seek or work to bring about in others in relation to itself or himself or herself? What is it that the identity you're wearing is seeking to provoke in terms of a response or reaction from others? That's a very important question. Recognizing the answer to that question brings about a certain raised consciousness, awareness, and a degree of separation from the trap of the identity that you get trapped in. And we'll have more than one. When I say the identity, we're talking about one of however many you may have. Anyway, proceeding from that question, which again is, what response does this particular identity work to bring about in others in relation to itself? Okay. Now, the second question, which is the newest breakthrough, which brings for a much more pervasive spiritual liberation in regard to being trapped into any particular identity, is as follows. It goes, is there a particular person or type of person that this persona or identity works or seeks to get that response from? The previous question asking what the response is that your particular identity is seeking to create in others. This question being, is there a particular type of person or personality that your identity seeks to get this particular response from? When that question is asked of the participant, narratives come to life. The person sees this in terms of immediate relationships in his or her own life. And it is very much consciousness raising, very much change making to become aware of this in relation to relevant people in your immediate life. So that is the new step, and it makes for a much more pervasive awareness, much greater shift, much greater gains in becoming spiritually liberated from all that is connected to any particular self or identity that you've chronically found yourself stuck in being. So that is what I wanted to share with you today, that very idea, because that identity that you seek to bring about a certain reaction from, be it being respected, loved, neutralizing a threat that is perceived from the other person in some way, whatever it might be, recognition of that in relation to actual identities of actual people in your life is very much life-changing. So this is a major breakthrough, and I want to communicate this and make it known to all participants, clients, to other practitioners, that this is something to learn and learn well, to know about. Thanks.